Welcome to this week's episode of Ambitious, Awakened, and Aligned. I'm actually really excited to peel back the layers today on, I think, a conversation about ambition, which I think can be really misunderstood. And we've got so many definitions wrapped into it through all of our generational activities in business and all of our experiences in business. And I know that it can bring up icky things and frustrating kind of mental and emotional perspectives. And I also think that we can look at it from a whole other lens where it has the possibility of igniting and inspiring us. So I want to talk just a little bit about the maybe often unspoken costs of ambition when it's looked at from this power driver, when it more comes from our mind and our goals and our sort of like hustle drive lane versus our intuitive, embodied, conscious lane. And the difference that both of them can actually propose to us, offer to us, help us lean into as leaders and also in our life. Because this word is not exclusive to business. I see people in their lives being ambitious for, this achievement, this I've got to get this thing. And if we're not in alignment with where that ambitious side of us or that ambition is coming from and through, then we can get caught in some really dangerous traps. And it can cost us some things. It can cost us the relationships that matter the most to us. It can cost us our business because it's not in harmony and alignment. It can cost us how we show up in leadership and the connections and collaboration we have within our business world and our leadership world. And so in this fast-paced world, in this, North American culture of that sort of hustle grind, it's the story of leaning into things from the place of harmony, alignment. And you're going to hear me talk about that more and more as we step into 2025 being right around the corner. I have this like deep passion within me to really ensure that we step into conscious leadership, that we step into conscious beingness, so that from that place, from that lens, you can create this joy of what you create. So it's creation. It comes from a place of co-creation with the universe, what you are ambitious around and how we leverage that word. So I read this quote I want to share with you. It's ambition is a double-edged sword. It can drive you to heights of success or lead you to the brink of burnout. I love this quote because this is what this episode is about. Are we going to leverage our ambition to really truly step into creating the life and business and relationships that we desire? Or are we going to go down that lane that is causing so many people to be on the brink of burnout right now? And that's a really good place to sit in your body of asking yourself, which one are you feeling when you step into certain actions, certain places, certain relationships, certain goals that you have? Is that check-in with your body that we talked about last week on the podcast? How can you check in and ask your body, am I coming from a place of alignment and harmony towards all of the beautiful things that are calling me, that I'm here to create, that I'm here to step into? Or am I coming at it from a place of have to, need to, driving without alignment to some sort of vision of who you're becoming, and then you start to feel that burnout piece? So when we use it as a fuel for growth and success, which comes from that powerful vision of future self, that powerful vision of who you are becoming. When you come at it from that lens, from that perspective, you will have it as fuel. It will be available to you. It will continue to build relationships in ways that are just amplifying the things that you desire. It will bring to you the opportunities that are meant to be for you. And you will be able to see when to lean in and when not to. It will help you have conversations that are aligned. It will help you to say yes and no. It will help you decide what you tolerate and accept. It will help you to build boundaries around what you need to build boundaries around. How does that feel when you really look at those two different perspectives? And so when I look at high achieving leaders, I've spent a lot of time sitting in this space of how does it show up for me? I am driven and I love achievement. I love results. I am so passionate about business and really getting to that place where I can see the impact. And I went through a long period of corporate experience as a leader where intuitively I knew the right things to say yes to, and yet I was caught in that roller coaster. I spent a lot of time on that treadmill, a lot of time tolerating things that I shouldn't have, saying yes to things that didn't align. And it's taken me a long time to really step into even understanding and having a knowingness of the difference. Because when you're in that corporate sort of treadmill, you don't pause long enough until you hit the burnout. And that was my experience, was really being on the edge of something's gnawing at me and saying this isn't working. And I couldn't have even defined for you in that moment, well over a decade and a half ago, what that was. I just felt a gnawing. And so if you're feeling a gnawing, if this is resonating with you, then I just want to encourage you, direct message me, DM me, let's have a conversation, or share in the notes below, share some comments, share your stories, because they will help other people say, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. I'm feeling this. And I'm sharing the corporate experience because that's where I first recognized it, when I was a corporate leader, when I was in that space. It doesn't have to come to you through that. You could be a business owner, you could be a founder, you could be feeling it. You could be a team member in your own team and you're feeling it. You could be a mom and you're having some of these experiences within your home that you've got that gnawing that is just not aligned. The harmony piece, that word, you hear it and you don't understand how to get there. That's when you know that your ambition is costing you something. Your ambition can be costing you your relationships, your peace, your own inner fulfillment, your own joy in life. We are meant to have a life we are obsessed with. We are meant to have joy, inner peace, fulfillment. We are meant to feel that we're living into our greatest calling on our lives. That is what is truly available to us. And that can be through the lens of feeling ambitious about achieving that. That can be beautiful and awesome all together. They can coexist. They truly can. And I know I bought into the lies that it had to be one or the other. I bought into the lies that if I was ambitious and I wanted to achieve something, that meant I had to sacrifice something. I had to give something up in order to gain something that I thought I was chasing. And now I lean into that ambition from a fuel, from a place of I don't have to sacrifice. I can just be me. I can show up fully as I am, fully available from the lens of let's go. We're climbing the mountain. Let's get there. And let's get there from a place that feels aligned. Let's get there from a place of togetherness, collaboration, inner peace, inner fulfillment. The more that I support myself, the more that fuel is available. It feels like a bit of an oxymoron, though. It feels like one has to replace the other. It doesn't. And there is story after story coming out today from leaders who are stepping into this, from women who are stepping into this and finding their own inner power and finding their own inner fuel and creating a life they love, and amplifying the business success that is possible because you have fuel, because you have energy, because you're available for it, instead of spiraling over there in the sacrifice grind, achievement kind of cycle that has you believing that you've got to sacrifice your relationships, your health, and your personal joy. And for me, it was a lot around health. And I've shared those stories about I had to have a health crisis to actually recognize how caught I was in this. This quote I also read recently: the ladder to success is often climbed at the expense of one's well-being. And that's an old story. That's an old paradigm. That's a story I think that our parents' generation taught us, and that I'm really trying to crack for my children, for my young adult children, that it doesn't have to be that way, that they can actually fulfill themselves and create well-being, and also, climb those mountains that bring this great success. We are living in a society of chronic stress and burnout. And I would propose that it's coming from this restless ambition, this out of aligned ambitiousness, this belief that we've got to follow someone else's path. And so, our mental health is in a crisis. Anxiety and depression are at an all-time high. Emotional exhaustion. I'm hearing this from leaders and women, people I talk to every day. It's like, I'm emotionally exhausted. We're exhausted. We're stressed. We're burnt out. And then it's continuing to lean into things like causing fatigue, causing sleep disorders, causing long-term health risks. And I find that people are still having a hard time saying, well, maybe it's okay to look after myself. Maybe some self-care routines. Maybe that is the absolute most important thing that you could implement into your life today so that you would have the fuel to achieve everything that you desire to achieve. What if that were true? What if that paradigm, where the more you care for yourself and the more you step into harmony and alignment for you, that you would have the fuel for anything you desired? What if that paradigm were true? Well, I'm here to propose that's our new paradigm. I'm here to say that the more that you help manage your ambition and not sacrifice your well-being, the more that you will be at the top of the mountain and jumping up and down and celebrating more than you've ever experienced. Work-life balance, it's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's another lie that we've been told, because balance is equal. Balance is this equanimity that we're trying to achieve. And so then when we can't get there, we're confused. Then we think, okay, well, work's out of balance. Well, life is out of balance. Well, they're both out of balance. And so this equal thing, I think we just have to blow that up. It really is about harmony and alignment, which means at different times, you will lean into one of those things in different ways. So I'll give the example of the festival that I created recently, the Wake the F Up Festival for Women, and being able to build that and create that and offer that to the world meant that there was more put into time, energy into creating that, which meant that the things that I did in my life, that was not, I was not as available from a time perspective, and time is a construct, and that's a whole other conversation. But it wasn't equal time put into each of those in order to birth this thing. And that was beautiful, because it came from this frequency of fulfillment, this frequency of the joy of what was being created. And now that that is done, I've taken a vacation to California with my husband and friends and family, and we had a beautiful experience. And so in those moments, it's, pull back a little bit from the energy and time being put into the business. And it is constantly this ebb and flow in deep alignment to the vision, in deep alignment and harmony with what you're desiring to create. So I think if we can move away from that illusion of work-life balance and really step more into, we can be ambitious from this aligned perspective, which is why the podcast is called Ambitious, Awakened, and Aligned, because I really believe those things go together. We want to come from this awakened conscious place. We can have this juicy ambition that comes from deep within our soul, aligned with our vision. And all of it is about that alignment piece. So I think they can all coexist in such a beautiful, powerful way. Ambition without reflection, though, is like a ship without a compass. Ambition without reflection is like a ship without a compass. Wow. It means we leave the shore and we have no idea where we're going. And I know personally, I love boating. I do not want to be on a boat out in the middle of nowhere where I can't see the shore and I don't know what direction I'm going. I'm really afraid of sharks. So I just feel like the second I say that, I'm going to get caught in the middle of the ocean and definitely some sharks are going to be coming. So we want to avoid that. We do not want to step into just like landing somewhere in a circle of sharks. And that's what that feels like. But ambition coming from a place of consciousness and alignment, wow, now it feels like I know exactly where my compass is taking me because my vision is the North Star. My vision is the compass. And now I can fuel it with everything inside of me that is who I am. I can calibrate to the goals that I have. I can create tools and strategy and action around that alignment. I can build support systems that keep me grounded and fully in alignment to where I'm going. So I just want to encourage you to take the time before we step into a new year to reflect on where you're going. Where's your compass? What's that North Star? And then from that place, how can you step into the consciousness? Spend time in reflection on this to consciously lean into where are you going with that? Who are you becoming to step into that? What are your actions, your inspired actions that you will take that are in full harmony to where you're going? Who are the people on your team that you will build around you? What are the relationships that you need to amplify and lean into in order to stay at that frequency and keep leaning into an up-leveled frequency? So I just want to reinforce for you this idea that we can be ambitious as long as we come at it from a place of being deeply aligned to our vision for the future. And that from that place, we will find fulfillment and inner peace and so much joy. I just feel like just lean into the energies and emotions that will be available to you when you step into that. So my call to action for you today is to carve out some time to really be able to reflect so that as we step into 2025, you are going to have the energy, fuel, excitement, frequency available to you that takes you towards that North Star, that allows ambition to be a fuel for you and to step away from those old paradigms and lean right into the new paradigms that are available for you. I can't wait to hear how that reflection time works out for you. Please share your stories with me, and I look forward to the next episode of Ambitious, Awakened, and Aligned with you. Until next week, just breathe in to becoming who you are meant to become.